Welcome to another edition of Tyrone Paulson Drives from a very windy Cape Town morning. Now, it's very rare that a manufacturer of a product listens to their customer's request and then implements said changes. But they then also go and make whatever the product was they did 100% better than before. Now, that is exactly what Mazda's done. This is the Mazda CX-60, which is a car I've previously driven on this channel, and it was brilliant, but the 2.5-litre engine that was fitted in the individual version of the car just let it down. Even though it was comfortable to drive, felt composed, had all the tech you wanted, it just lacked the performance you expected.
Now this car that we have here is the new 3.3-litre Takumi all-wheel drive version, which features a 3.3-litre turbo diesel mild hybrid configuration setup and makes use of a inline 6 turbocharged engine that produces 187 kilowatts and 550 newton meters of torque. Plus, it makes use of a mild hybrid diesel system that basically compresses the incoming air and significantly boosts your fuel economy. If you don't really understand all that technical stuff like I do, basically it creates some Mazda zoom magic by making you use less fuel without compromising your overall performance. Now, talking about its power, it's got quite a bit of it. Its power delivery is very smooth and yet relaxing at the same time, but also can be quite engaging, guaranteed to make any petrol head smile when you put your foot down. Listen, this car was near perfect in the 2.5-litre version, but in this 3.3-litre version, man, it's very, very close. But we'll get into some more driving impressions in a couple of moments. Let's give you a quick breakdown about what you can find inside of this new Takumi version of the Mazda CX-60.
What you get is a 5-seater SUV, which is much larger than the CX-5 that we're used to, with a look still similar to what we kind of used to from Mazda, but a lot more European styling cues has been put into this car. Like, it's got a larger bonnet and a more imposing grille that's all chromed out as well. It's got a wider track, and it even features a redesigned rear. It makes use now of a full-time all-wheel drive system, which is rear-wheel drive based, which means a much more engaging drive, and it has loads of standard features like things like all-round radar for things like accident mitigation, blind spot monitoring, 360-degree cameras, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assistant, cross-traffic alert, hill descent, and many other safety features to keep you and your occupants safely cocooned for any situation. Now, the boys in my family, we love this soul red crystal color because it's red and it's like, that speed kind of look. But the girls, though, they don't really like it. But you don't have to worry because there's over 7 different colors available to choose from. The rear has been redesigned because of its much wider space, and it looks a lot more modern than what we used to from Mazda, even though the other versions of its siblings still looks really, really good. Boot size, it has increased significantly, which is a welcome size to anyone with a, large family. With over 570 liters of space available. Right now in here, I've got 2 large suitcases. I've got a couple of camera equipment and stuff lying in here. So as you can see, there's more than enough space. And if you put the seats down, you get over 1,700 liters.
Right here in the front seat is where you see a much larger, redesigned, more premium-looking cabin. Talking about large, is this 12.3-inch infotainment screen that you see in the front. Plus, it's got a 12-inch digital driver display as well. For those people who love buttons, there are loads of buttons. Now, I'm not a button person, but this does work, right? The infotainment system is brilliant. It's easy to use because of a rotary dial that it has fitted here in the middle, and allows you to directly interact with the screen without having to reach out and touch and get all distracted. It also makes use of a
driver recognition personalization system. It's lots of words, but basically what it does, it's got a camera built in here, and if you set the car up for your seating positions, it will remember who you are, and whenever you get in, it will kind of, set up accordingly. It will also check to see if you are distracted when driving. There are cup holders here in the front too. There is USB-C charging in here in the center console. There's even a sunglass holder. So you've got enough storage space for basically everything. Soft touch materials are where you need it to be. It's a very good feeling steering wheel. And as mentioned, these seats are electronically controlled. So when you program them in for that recognition system, it just automatically adjusts. The same with the steering column. And I like that, which is very, very premium. Getting back to this screen, it does interact with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. For Apple CarPlay, it is wireless, and by the way, there's wireless charging as well right here for your phone. However, if you're going to need to use Android Auto, you are going to need to make use of the USB-C cable that is in here. But furthermore, everything that you need to get into when using this car in the front, sitting here, it's a very good, comfortable space to be. Talking about comfortable, I think the rear of this car is a lot more comfortable than being in the front. With this Napa leather seats, it just feels really good. There are seating space for 3 people, so short and long journeys should be a breeze. Talking about short and long, both short and long people should have enough leg room and space to kind of sit comfortably in here. You're able to put 2 baby seats in here, even large ones, because these doors open so wide that you can easily makkelijk get them in. There's USB-C charging ports in here. There are cup holders in the center armrest. With this panoramic sunroof, it creates that whole open feeling, so there's nobody's going to complain about feeling all clustered or back up. This is really an awesome space to be in. I mean, I could say the same about the 2.5 liter individual version as well. It's also a very comfortable space to be in, but this just feels, like we say on the Cape Flats, lekker. Now, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, that I could not fault the way that this car drove, not even in the 2.5 liter version. I mean, it was really good, but now in the 3.3 liter all-wheel drive Takumi version, this car's it's almost perfect in my opinion. It's just really amazing. I mean, this is, in my opinion, what I think is what this car was always intended to kind of really feel like. The gearbox is smooth. Its power delivery is, really good. And when you push it into a corner, it even feels very, very composed, which is exactly what the 2.5 liter kind of did. But I just lacked that little bit of extraness that this 3.3 liter inline 6 turbo diesel engine is kind of offering for you now. Now, the car has 3 driving modes that you can make use of. They are normal, sport, and then there's an off-road version as well. But to be quite honest with you, I won't take this car off-road because this is way too pretty for that. And especially with it having 20-inch machine polished wheels and all of those type of things. And if you are really somebody that goes off-roading, then maybe look at a more off-road focused car. I mean, this car for me is a bit of a more comfortable gravel or dirt road kind of driving. I mean, it still is really good. When you flip it into its sports mode, well, then it becomes a completely different beast though, because the throttle response is a lot better on the car, and well, its overall handling is just so much fun. But you could just flip it back into normal like I just did, and then you can still have a bit of a engaging fun kind of drive if you want to. There are some stuff that kind of I find a bit weird and irritating, but sometimes I just get aggro, grumpy old man syndrome apparently. But it's things like the stop-start system. It's very intrusive. The coasting facility, when it switches the engine back on again, that kind of feels a bit weird, but those are all features that you can turn off. If there really has to be something that I have to fault, it's got to be the way this car sounds. Now, don't get me wrong, because inside the car, it sounds epic. I mean, like, it's deep, it's throaty, and it sounds really fun, but on the outside,
Well, it doesn't, yeah, it's a little bit unimpressive because you see what you hear on the inside of this car is, well, pumped through the speaker system. So it gives it that really cool sound, right? So if I could ask Mazda to do anything, and I know they listen to their customers, is to kind of just put a more throatier, deeper sounding exhaust system on the outside, which would make it sound a bit more sportier, please. But in conclusion, I do think that Mazda has listened to their customers when it comes to the CX-60. And with this 3.3 litre all-wheel drive Takumi version, they took already what was a premium feeling and looking SUV, added this inline 6 engine, and has now made it even feel a lot more premium and a lot more, you know, like better than what it was. I mean, traditionally, this car should be competing against things like the VW Tiguan, the Kia Sportage, the Hyundai Tucson, and, you know, some of the new Chinese entrants. But with Mazda upping its game like they did, it's now taking aim at cars like the BMW X3, the Audi Q5, and some of its other European rivals that are out there. Plus, you get Mazda's 5-year unlimited kilometer warranty and a service plan. Then you add all the luxury features you get in the car, the tech, the way this engine, the way everything just fits together. Oh, and then there's its 4.9 litre per 100 kilometer claimed fuel ranges that you get out of it. I mean, like, I'm averaging what now, about 6? I mean, that is really good. It makes you think that that price tag that's put on this car, which is 1,049,200 rand, is, well, Mazda's kind of undercharging for this car. I mean, don't tell Mazda that, though. Please don't put the price up, because I mean, if you compare it to a lot of those new rivals that I mentioned, I mean, they just don't deliver what this car is offering you at this present moment. So all I can literally say is, well done, Mazda. Well done. With that, though, thanks for watching another edition of Tyrone Paulson Drives. If you liked the video, please click like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching.